quite literally the best camera is the one that's with you. And if you've got your $10,000 Nikon hanging around your neck and you're one of the 1% that actually has that, then that's the best camera. But the reality is that most of the time what we have on us is some derivation of a handheld phone, you know, that is enabled with a camera. Oh, this is cool. This is really cool here. For me, it's the iPhone. For you, it might be, you know, the Android or the Palm Pre or something. But when the iPhone first came out, I started taking pictures of everything because it was all of a sudden I had this great visual journal. At some point, I realized like, wow, I know this is 2 megapixels. I know there's just one button. It's just like, you know, it's like being pregnant. You either are or you aren't. You know, you either take a picture or you don't. And I had, you know, 10,000 pictures in some library somewhere, and some of them were actually kind of interesting. Oh, that's great. I'm gonna get that little flare right there. So I was using all these apps to share the pictures, and it was really cumbersome. I was using like 4, 5, 6, and sometimes even 7 apps to do the things I wanted to do. Well, I said, let's build an iPhone app that actually does the things I want to do within one app. Crop that thing. I like the wider shot better. You know, and one of the things about the iPhone is that it has a shutter that you don't control the shutter speed. So you can really make use of that as opposed to having it work against you. You can have it work for you, which is in dark places. You can just kind of move the phone while you're shooting and just create these beautiful patterns and actually make pictures that you wouldn't think were possible with the iPhone. I took a picture and I was moving the phone really quickly, and you get this really interesting and what I would consider like super abstract shape or design. And some people can say, oh wow, that looks like shit. Other people are going to say, I think that's pretty interesting. And you did this with a 3 megapixel phone and a little imagination. Photography is becoming a huge part of our culture. Incidentally, I mean, because the capture devices are getting so cheap and so available, and the opportunities and the means by which we share that material is so at our fingertips. I love it. I think it's amazing. Walking NYC. Posted to my Facebook, and I'm not going to email it to my mom. What the hell? Even if you're sitting in your cube, or if you're at your park, or at the local soccer game, there's always stuff to shoot. And that's one of the things that this really did for me, was get me to look for pictures. Simple stuff, you know. I mean, and let's face it, a picture's not about megapixels or dynamic range or any of that stuff. It's about like moments and stories. And I think playing around with cameras like this or whatever one you have with you, it gets people to understand that. And at some point, like if you didn't have your fancy DSLR and your 14-year-old son hit a home run and he's coming across the plate, you know, to win the game or whatever, and all you have is a Motorola flip phone, you're gonna take that picture. And that's more important, I think, than like having that image, and that moment is more important. It doesn't matter if it's only 300 pixels by 200 pixels, or in this case, 3.5 megapixels. It's that you have that picture, because that is never gonna happen again. And that's a great thing that I hope is kind of motivation for people to take pictures. And cut.